What is up, my people? Welcome back, or welcome if you are new here. Today I'm going to be showing you guys my apartment here in Ho Chi Minh City. I am currently out on a morning walk. It's about 6 a.m. here and the neighborhood is just starting to wake up. It's still fairly quiet as people are just starting to come out. There are a few people out here working out, walking around, and you can probably hear a couple of the motos in the background. During the day, it does get noisy when it comes to traffic, but that's pretty much anywhere in the city. There's a lot of motos out here. You'll hear a lot of cars, motorcycles, and things. But for the most part, this neighborhood is fairly quiet, especially at night. So I really do enjoy that about living here. I also really enjoy how close we are to the river. Look at this view.
Bắt đầu hít thở một.
So you can hear some of the ladies working out behind me. The people be getting it in the morning. I hear they are serious about taking care of their health, and honestly I love it. It's so motivating to see other people out just walking and getting in some good exercise, touching grass. I stay in D2, which when a lot of foreigners mention D2, they're usually talking about Thao Dien, but I stay about 10 or 15 minutes south of Thao Dien, and it's still a neighborhood that has foreigners, but it's a mix of foreigners and locals and less Western foreigners, which is what you'll usually see in Thao Dien. It's more foreigners from other areas, specifically other Asian countries is what I've seen. So a lot of Japanese or Koreans or Filipino people. And even the neighborhood that I stay in, it has a lot of different restaurants from those places as well. So I do like the diversity that I get from living in this particular area. And it's not far for me to get to places like Thao Dien. Like I mentioned, it's like 10 or 15 minutes. I'm also not far from D1 or D7, which are other popular districts in the city. So it's a really central area, but it's also quiet to an extent, you know, give or take the motos. But it's a good central area and still a good ways out from the city. So I'm not in the heart of everything, aka the heart of all the noise. Okay, so enough about the neighborhood. Now I'm going to take you inside and show you some other things that I really like about living here. So I've been living in Vietnam for about 6 months now, and while there are several different things that I love about living here, one of the biggest perks is definitely the cost of living. It's no secret that Vietnam is one of the most affordable places to live right now. But for me, it's not just about the cost of things. It's also about the value. For example, this rooftop space, this pool, and this sauna come included with my rent. I don't know about y'all, but I've never had any place in the US that had a sauna. When I was apartment hunting, not every place that I saw came with amenities like these. So I do think I found a really good deal with this place. As hot as the city gets, it's really a blessing to have access to amenities like these so I can cool off whenever I need to. So apartments here can range from as low as $300 for a studio to upwards of $1,000 for a 1-bedroom, depending on how fancy you want to get. When I was apartment hunting, I had my budget set around $400 to $600 a month, and I had a good amount of options to choose from with that budget range. The availability for apartments varies throughout the year, but for me personally, I was doing my search around March, and this was right after Tet, or the Lunar New Year, which is a huge holiday out here in Vietnam and in Asia. The time that I started looking was a high season for a lot of foreigners looking for apartments, because after the holidays, a lot of learning centers and schools start hiring teachers again. So you have an influx of people coming looking for jobs and places to stay. So while there were a good amount of places available, things were getting taken quick. I mean, I would see a place online and schedule to go see it, and it might already be taken before I could even get there to go view the apartment. That's how fast things were going. To find apartments that I was interested in, I just used Facebook groups. There are quite a few out here. Just for anyone looking for an apartment, you can hop in these groups and they post listings often throughout the day of just what's available, what's on the market. And so I would find things I was interested in, reach out directly to whoever posted it, and usually they were the agent that was looking to sell the place. But if they weren't, they would get me in contact with whoever was, and we would schedule a time to go see it in person. The agents here get paid a commission only if you actually sign the lease and book the apartment. So many of them were very eager to help me find the place that I was looking for. And on one hand, while it was really helpful to have someone who's local to the area and could help me find what I was looking for, it also was a little bit overwhelming just dealing with so many different people and having them all send me different links to see places and trying to schedule appointments. And they all work from the same database. So a lot of times the agents were sending me places that I had either already seen or had already talked to with someone else. So in all, the process felt a little chaotic, but in the end, it still worked out. So it was fine. After looking through a ton of different places online and seeing maybe 5 or 6 in person, I finally came across one that felt like it could be home. This one. Honestly, I was a little hesitant to say yes to this place. I wasn't used to having to make such quick decisions, and it also had been a really long time since I had a lease. Like, I hadn't had an apartment since I left the States 4 years ago and started this whole nomad journey. But it did feel right, so after sleeping on it and praying on it, I called my agent the next morning and let her know that I was ready to make a deposit, only to find out that someone had already signed the lease. Y'all, I was bummed, but what's meant for you is for you. I still to this day don't really know what happened, but a few hours later my agent is messaging me back and saying that things fell through with the other person, and if I wanted this place I needed to move fast. So that's what I did. I came by that afternoon to sign the lease, which was for 6 months, and I paid 1 month's deposit to secure the apartment, which is around $585 a month, not including water and utilities. I moved in a few days later and paid the $585 again to cover first month's rent. So basically my upfront cost for securing the apartment was around $1,100, $1,200. So essentially I saw this place on Tuesday, signed a lease after some back and forth drama on Wednesday, and then 3 days later I was moving into this apartment. In short, it was fast. I don't know if it's just me. Y'all let me know, have you ever had to make such a quick decision on such a long-term commitment before? For me, 6 months, that's long-term. That's a full-on commitment for a nomad. So thankfully it worked out, and 5 months later I am still here and happy with my decision. My rent hasn't increased, thank God. And I pay around $600, a little over $600 a month in total once you factor in water and utilities. I haven't really had any issues being here. The Wi-Fi is strong and it works well enough for me to work from home. The pest control here is very good, which I am grateful for. No bugs. And I don't have any crazy neighbors. The people that I've seen here around the neighborhood are actually really friendly towards me, and there's plenty of people that will smile at me and wave and just regulars that I see usually on my morning walks around the neighborhood or just in passing when going to the grocery store and things like that. And honestly, I feel safe walking around here at night. The neighborhood is filled with families, so in the evening times you'll see kids running around and people just out and about, whether they're working out because the sun has finally gone down and it's a little cooler, or just out for an evening walk and just hanging out. It really is a friendly area to be in. I honestly feel really blessed to have found a place in a neighborhood like this. It has made settling down in Ho Chi Minh City that much more easier, especially as a solo female traveler. And if you're watching this and wondering if you could ever do something like this too, the answer is absolutely yes. I put together some solo travel tips to help you get started and feel more prepared. It's nothing fancy, but just some real tips that I think could help you with taking the leap. If you're interested, you can find the link down in the description box below. So for the first time in my nomad journey, I have stability. Not only in my location, but also with my monthly expenses and with my level of comfort. Something that hasn't always been attainable for me when renting and living in different Airbnbs. All right, so enough of that. Now let me show you my apartment. So this is my humble abode. Over here is the kitchen area. I store all of my dishes up here, and also can hang some over here. And then there's plenty of cabinet space. I just keep food and seasonings up there. This is the only drawback I feel like to this kitchen, because I do feel like there is enough space for me, just being a person of one, to cook. But I only have one eye, which is kind of annoying. I have one eye, and then I have this microwave, which is obviously not an oven. So that is one drawback to this apartment. I do wish that it had at least two eyes and an oven, but it actually is really common here in Vietnam, Asia in general, to not have an oven. So it kind of just is what it is. Majority of the apartments that I did visit, I don't know if I saw any with an oven. So I think if you go in the higher price range, like if you are looking for something 900, 800 and up, you may more commonly see ovens, but the lower price points usually don't have ovens. And honestly, with the amount of food that is out here in Vietnam and how good it is, you don't need an oven. I haven't needed an oven. The only thing that I do miss about not having an oven is being able to bake desserts and cookies and things, but I don't need those anyway, so it's fine. I also bought this. It is a multi-cooker. It's something I use because I do meal prep a lot. It makes things a lot easier. I can make like rice and meat dishes, literally just throw everything in this pot and it cooks everything, and it actually cooks really fast. It's not like a slow cooker. It will cook as a slow cooker if you wanted to, but it cooks really fast, so I don't have to wait like hours for food to be done, and I actually really like it. So this has helped to offset the fact that I don't have more than one eye. The unit also came with a washer machine, which this washer machine is really good. It's quiet and it washes the clothes really well. I don't know. I do think there's a setting for drying on here, but I actually dry my clothes out on the balcony, which I'll show you guys in a bit. I don't dry it in there. I think I may have tried drying it once, but they still come out damp. So I just use this for washing only. Over here we have the refrigerator. I mean, it's just, you know, your typical standard refrigerator. I need to go grocery shopping, so don't judge my lack of food in there. And here is water coolers, which the apartment actually provides. It's not included in my rent. I do pay a little bit for it. I don't remember the exact price. I want to say it's like, it can't be more than like $4 or $5 a month, and I get 2 of these. I usually request for 2, but I basically just text the leasing office letting them know that I need a new one. I put this one outside and they bring me one by 6 p.m. that afternoon. It's really convenient because it's not recommended to drink water from the tap here in Vietnam. So it helps out a lot that they provide water and I don't have to always go out to purchase it. And there you can see the couch and it has a great view of the TV. This is where I like to lounge sometimes in the evening, or sometimes I'll even work from the couch when I'm tired of working from this desk. I don't always work at home, but it is convenient to have a place to work comfortably when I do want to work from home. I really appreciate how spacious this apartment is and that I do have the option to work from home when I desire to. It's also a plus because in the neighborhood there are quite a few cafes that I could go to and work from. I have some of my favorites that I frequent, and there are still quite a few that I haven't even had the chance to visit yet. So there are plenty of options for me to work and I don't have to go far. Love that for me. All right, now let's head out to the balcony. So this is my balcony. That's where I hang up my clothes, like I was mentioning earlier. And I just have a little seating area out here. To be honest, I do not spend a lot of time out here. It is hot in Vietnam. Most of my time is spent inside, but I do like having this option, especially for the evening times. I appreciate having this little outdoor space. All right, so from here, I can actually get into my room. Let's check out the bedroom. So this is my bedroom where I get great sleep and wonderful rest. The bed is actually quite comfortable. It is just made up. They actually just came and cleaned today. It's always nice to come back and just have a clean apartment. There is the air conditioning unit up there, which is a must here in Vietnam. It is, I can't stress enough how hot it is. Like, it gets hot here. And then of course I have a mirror here and I also have a desk. I don't use this really to work. Well, that's not true. I do work sometimes in here, just not very often. I'm more comfortable working out in the living room. Like, it's perfectly fine for working. I think it's just like a mental thing. I've always kind of struggled when the bed is so close to my workspace because then I want to take a nap instead of working. So I do appreciate that this is here. I mainly use this area for just getting ready. So getting dressed in the morning, doing makeup, hair, stuff like that. I also bought a fan. So I mentioned about the heat and that there is an air conditioning in this room. There's also an air conditioning unit in the living room. But I still needed a fan. One, because the AC really runs up the utility bill. And even if I have both of the AC units on, I could still sometimes be hot just because I'm one of those people that need like flow and circulation. So the fan really helps out with that. And honestly, sometimes I can be in here and just have the fan going and open the door and it cools down enough for me. So even though I have both the AC units aren't always on, and the fan has been a big help with cooling me down. Oh, and I almost forgot the closet. This is my closet. It's double-sided and your girl loves that. It's two sides. I have plenty of storage space. There's nothing really on this side. This is where I keep my suitcases and jackets. And then on this side, I keep all my clothes. Yes, I actually bought this to hold more clothes because there aren't any like drawers or anything to kind of store stuff. So I found this actually on, I don't know where I found this. Shein, Shopee, Lazada, one of them apps. One of them apps I ordered this off of. But it didn't cost too much and it has really helped to keep things organized. There's also storage down here, which as you see, I do not utilize. And down here. And up here. which I also don't utilize. I'm not tall enough for that. But I do really value how much storage space there is in this place. I've stayed in a lot of Airbnbs in a lot of different places, and that is something you won't always get everywhere. All right, so you've seen the living room, you've seen the kitchen, you've seen the balcony, you've seen my bedroom. I've saved the best for last. This was the true selling point for me on this apartment. The bathroom. So I love this bathroom. I love getting ready in here. It is spacious, as you can see. It's also well lit, which we love. The shower, amazing. Not only do I have this rainfall or this waterfall shower at the top, I also have the option to use this as well. And yeah, this was the selling point for me. The view, the tub. I have not had a tub in years, and it's a big tub. My whole body fits in here. Love that for me. This was the selling point. So yeah, I was on the fence when I saw this place, but once they showed me this tub, I was like, ooh, I do think this is where I need to be. This is where I belong. And I've had no regrets. I have enjoyed taking baths, even though it is hot here, like I mentioned, so I don't take baths often, but when I do, no regrets, no regrets. So yes, that is my apartment. What do you guys think? Did I get a good deal or what? I think so. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. And if you have any other questions about apartment hunting here in Ho Chi Minh City, feel free to ask. I did a deeper dive on how I planned out my budget to move here in this video. So be sure to check it out if you are thinking about moving to Vietnam or a move abroad. As always, thanks so much for watching, liking, subscribing, and sharing this video. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Ciao.